So I grew up in Plainfield, Wisconsin. That is where Ed Gein lived and committed his crimes. Just a middle of nowhere town in the middle of Wisconsin. I would visit places and mention I was from Plainfield, and they would think it's like, oh, is that where Ed Gein was from? It's like, yeah, that's where Ed Gein was from.
Even though he was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Ed Gein is most known for his crimes he committed in Plainfield. His family had relocated because his mother, Augusta, believed La Crosse was a sinful place, not fit for raising a family. He only went to school through 8th grade and regularly attended church with his family. His brother died under suspicious circumstances while fighting a brush fire, though his body was found with badly bruised head and no burns. The same year, his mother suffered her first stroke and was hospitalized for about a year, until she died from her second stroke at the age of 67 in 1945. After his mother died, Ed became increasingly isolated. He began studying human anatomy and reading about topics such as Nazi medical experiments. He never pursued relationships with women and instead began to indulge in disturbing fantasies. About 6 months after his mother's death, he started robbing graves. He reportedly visited gravesites dozens of times, and in at least 9 confirmed cases, he exhumed bodies of women who resembled his mother. Ed Gein's first confirmed victim was Mary Hogan, a local bar owner in Plainfield. He killed her on December 8, 1954, with a gunshot to the head. He had targeted her because she resembled his mother. His second and last confirmed victim was Bernice Warden, the owner of a local hardware store and mother of the deputy. She was killed on November 16, 1957, with the same gun used in Mary Hogan's murder.
I had a friend in high school whose mom was babysat by Ed Gein, and my neighbor growing up, her mother was killed by Ed Gein.
Ed Gein was arrested on November 17, 1957, the day after Bernice Warden's disappearance. When investigators searched his property, they discovered her body in a shed. Inside his house, they found numerous items made from human remains, including furniture, clothing, masks, and other objects. Gein later gave investigators details about his crimes and actions. While he was only officially confirmed to have killed Bernice Warden and Mary Hogan, he was also suspected in the deaths of 8-year-old Georgia Weckler and 15-year-old Evelyn Hartley, whose body was never found. He went on trial beginning on November 22, 1957, but proceedings were delayed to determine whether he was mentally competent to stand trial. He was eventually found legally insane and was committed to Central State Hospital for the criminally insane. Later, he was transferred to Mendota Mental Health Institute, where he remained for the rest of his life. On July 26, 1984, Ed Gein died of lung cancer. He was buried near his family in the Plainfield Cemetery. His gravestone was repeatedly vandalized and eventually removed from the site. While he has been gone for years, the shadow of Ed Gein has lived on through popular culture, especially in film.
His story is what inspired the book Psycho, which led to the movie Psycho. So to be connected to something like that is kind of interesting, especially as a teenager or a young adult. Same thing with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like those sorts of things were inspired by the horrific things that Ed Gein did, and so it was both kind of interesting and novel, and also like not exactly what you want to be known for or your hometown.
People associated with Plainfield still get asked about the crimes committed in their small town.
Especially as I've gotten older, I realize that people are fascinated with true crime or these kind of serial killers, in part because they're nervous about their own safety. And so people want to understand what was going on so that it doesn't happen to them or they can prevent it in the future. And so I recognize that it's not an interest in gruesomeness or trying to make fun of the town I grew up in. It's more to understand and to learn and to protect yourself psychologically. And so, not the greatest thing to be known for, but I never minded having a conversation about it. I couldn't change it, right? So why not learn something and have a conversation with folks as a point of connection?
While the shadow of Ed Gein lives on, there is so much more to the city of Plainfield.